that's labeled the pact for the continuation of colonization. On one hand, we are giving you your independence, but on the other hand, we want you to sign this document agreeing to continue to be colonized. And if you choose not to sign this document, in my pocket, I have a gun that has your name. Guinea and Mali, they chose not to sign the document. That France moved into those countries, poured concrete into the sewage pipes, destroyed schools, hospitals, roads, anything that could be destroyed, they destroyed. Anything that they could pick up and take back with them to France, they took. They even took the last pencil. This was done as a way of letting the other African countries know that should you refuse to sign this document, this was the fate that awaited you. You have to give up 85% at that time of your bank reserves. Deposit them with France. Those funds, once gone, they're not coming back. All your minerals discovered and yet to be discovered belong to France, and French companies had the first right of refusal. All your minerals discovered and yet to be discovered belong to France, and French companies had the first right of refusal. Your language of instruction shall be French. Your military can only be equipped by France. Your military can only be trained by France. You must give up control of your finances. You must give up control of your natural resources. You must give up control of your military. Now, if you stay away from those, you're free to run your country as you wish. What kind of a country are you running? What kind of a leader are you? To this day, those African countries are still required to deposit their bank reserves with France. Now, the numbers have gone down somewhat. They're down to the 50, 55, 60. But by and large, with the exception of Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali that say, France, pack your bags and go home. The rest of the African countries are still subjected and held to the pact for the continuation of colonization. But our leaders, for various reasons, and we know those who have tried to pull away, they've either been assassinated or exiled. So the realities are there, that if African leaders try to push back, there's some serious consequences. In spite of all that, there are some other issues that they also deal with. We know the NGOs are nothing but wolf in sheep's clothing as they come into our countries. A lot of embassies as well. We have a few nice embassies, but we have many countries that are also just here to make sure that they continue to destabilize the countries. They make sure that the elections are forever interrupted. Why is it that we are all fully aware that the loans that are being given to African countries, the loans that have been given to African countries for centuries, are frivolous loans that have been paid 1 million times over? Why is it that our ministers of finance every year, twice a year, they go to the World Bank? They know what's going on, but they say nothing. What is keeping us as Africans from coming together and speaking with one voice and letting the World Bank know, and IMF, that we have paid for these loans a gazillion times over? We ain't paying for them no more. What are we afraid of? Why can't we just say it like it is? It is damn wrong. And it cannot continue. But we are afraid. You human being called Jesus Christ. And they talked about the angels, and they talked about who are in heaven, a place we all want to go to. They're beautiful, they're angelic, they're desirable. And oh, by the way, they're white. And oh, by the way, we are white, like the angels. But remember, in school, they told us this was white. But never mind how we look. We may look rather pinkish, but don't disregard that. We are white believers. Then they turned around and said there's something called hell. And there's a devil there. Ugly, undesirable, does all the horrible things, and that creature is. And oh, by the way, you too are black. Never mind this black color that we told you in school. A blatant lie was told to us, and we have never stood up to say that's a damn lie. I'm not black. They're not black. You look like the devil because we told you so. We look like the angels because we told you so. So it is when a little 5-year-old black boy is given 2 sets of dolls, black dolls and white dolls, and he's asked which one is mean, he points at the black one. He's asked which one is ugly, he points at the black one. He's asked which one is nice, he points at the white one. Which one is beautiful, he points at the white one. And then when asked which one is more like you, he sheepishly points at the black one. The 5-year-old boy is defeated before his life even begins. Somehow, there are subliminal messages that this boy just knows. Think about it. So that Samuel boy grow up to be the minister of education. He's not going to like anything to do with him. So yes, European history is what weighs him. African history? No. You African educators, you don't read your own work in order to be tenured. Many professors to be tenured, they gotta write 10, 20, 30, 40 papers. And those papers can only be reviewed in Europe, in the United States, by credible universities. So I said to the professors, you don't trust each other. You are not credible. If you can't trust each other, why should we parents trust you with our children? To be tenured in universities in Africa, your work has to be reviewed outside Africa. What's wrong with having universities in North Africa send their work to Southern Africa? Universities in West Africa send their work to East Africa. But no, black professors are going to be reviewing it. It's not acceptable. They won't have the same weight. Stupidity has got to come to an end. It is filtering through to everything that we are doing. I am telling you, my brothers and sisters, we are the laughing stock of the world. U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, I'm going to call her. She was fired by President Trump when I was going to worship. She used to come to my office and she used to say, Ambassador, talk to the ambassadors. They need to speak up. When she was the former Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs, she said, Ambassador, I'll be sitting on this side with the American side, and there'll be the Africans over there. She said, if they could just say some obvious things that would help her come back and make decisions and recommend certain changes. But the Africans don't speak. Tell these ambassadors to speak up. Why are we afraid? Because we were defeated where it matters the most. The man. So no matter how hard we try to change our Africa, until we heal from the legacy of colonization, nothing we try to do is going to succeed. If we don't heal from the legacy of colonization, we will continue to be used as instruments of our own self-destruction. mobilize the military to go and fight Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Oh, we can have it. I said, help me understand something. France has had coups against these nations for centuries. When France is forcing these countries to deposit their bank reserves with France, that's a coup. President Tinubu, what have you done about this coup? You are sitting on the big boy chair now. Talk to me. What are you going to do about this coup? When France is making sure that all natural resources for these countries belong to France, that's the coup. What are you going to do about it, ECOWAS? But somehow, we don't see them as coups because it's the white man doing it. If a black man was doing the same thing to another black man, oh, you know, they'll call them out in a hat. We have serious problems as Africans. We don't even realize how sick we are with this disease. We are not just sick at home. We are not just sick in the doctor's waiting room. We are not just sick in the general ward in the hospital. We are in the intensive care. As a doctor, I cannot help you unless you come to me with your complaint. At least recognize that you're sick. But most of the time, we don't even realize that we are sick. This stupidity that is going on in Africa. One Zimbabwean I was asking, I think a lot of Zimbabweans go, no, I don't talk to Zimbabweans. I'm the only black person in my neighborhood, and she was surprised. I'm speaking to another friend, this time in Zimbabwe. She was so proud that her son cannot speak Shona, and that the son speaks English like a British. And she's telling me this with a certain level of pride. And that's the mother, which means the child is just as doomed. When are we going to wake up and realize that our inability to move forward as a people is because we were defeated when we were supposed to? What are we going to do about the educational curriculum? You are just like a ship without an anchor. The wind blows that way, there you go. The wind blows that way, there you go. And there are too many of us who find themselves in that boat without an anchor. What's happening in Burkina Faso must be stopped. What's happening in Mali must be supported. What's happening in Niger must be supported. If you care the least bit about our future, how else are we going to get France out of Africa? How else are we going to get Britain, Germany, all those former colonizers? They're now in as multinationals, siphoning billions out of Africa, using safe havens to hide their returns. We know they're here. They're wolf in sheep's clothing. Siphoning billions out of Africa, using safe havens to hide their returns. We know they're here. They are now wolf in sheep's clothing. If you look at the move that Niger made, by simply saying, France, you can no longer buy our uranium for 80 cents a kilo, when we know very well you're selling it for 200 euros per kilo. Niger was realizing about 1 billion out of the sales of its uranium a year, while France was realizing close to 300 billion. That one move alone, when Niger said, if you want our uranium, 200 euros a kilo, please. Immediately, 300 billion.
Discovery, Houston, France.
It's not going to take much to change Africa. We got what it takes. If there's one thing we're very fortunate of, we're endowed with everything the rest of the world needs. We don't need the world. The world needs Africa.